Hello and welcome to the podcast.
Hello, hello.
So today's quote is loving yourself isn't vanity, it's sanity. And we're going to be
Yeah,
talking
good
all
quote
about self-compassion, basically.
because it's something a lot of people struggle with.
It is. I don't know if it's the same for you, but so many of my clients, and probably I've struggled with a lot as well, is like being kind to ourselves. Like we're always pushing ourselves, we're always beating ourselves up, and actually we need to have a little bit more compassion with ourselves, be a little bit kinder. Because otherwise we just end up making ourselves feel worse, essentially, if we constantly keep beating ourselves up over things.
Mm, absolutely. And beating ourselves up over um like being perfect, isn't it? But having that you have to be this. Why do you have to be that? Why have you made that your what's the word I'm looking for? Like your help me here. Like the way you want people to see you and stuff like that, like you're thinking like you have to be a certain way when actually you've just made up that um I just can't think of the word. Like, yeah. Anyway, but do you get what I'm saying?
I think I get what you're saying.
So like no one told you you had to eat like everything to a certain standard. You set a standard, right, for yourself,
Like
but like that
expectation.
standard is set by you. An expectation, that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, this crazy expectation that you need to be up here all the time. And actually that like no one is up here all the time. If they are, they're like a superhuman. Like it doesn't exist. It's not a thing.
Mm,
Like you're not always gonna eat like what is it, 10 fruit and vegetables a day? I think they like suggest now. Like, I mean, good God. Like you're not going to do that. You're not going to be like doing 10,000 steps a day. You're not going to be always meal planning, always like so energetic that like you can do all of this stuff. Like some days you're just going to be like, God damn it, I can't do this today. Like, no.
yeah, yeah.
And then you like feel bad because you haven't hit that standard that you've set for yourself. And then it just leads to people just coming all the time like, oh yeah, I've been bad this week. And I'm like, so what's been bad? And they're
Mm,
like, well, and actually the things I come up with, I'm like, what was wrong with that?
yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? Like I was literally looking at a lady's tracker this morning and she said to me, oh, I've just been I just was a little bit off track last week. And I was looking at it and I was like, pretty balanced breakfast, lunch, dinners looks good. Like, yes, there was a couple of extra like ice creams and the snacks and things like that, but I'm like 10 almost she hit her step target. Um, it was just looked all pretty good. And I was like, what part of that doesn't do you feel like didn't go well? And she was like, oh, well, I had ice cream 2 nights in the week. And I was like, okay, well, that's not the end of the world. Like, you've been pretty
Hmm.
consistent with everything else. Having a little bit of ice cream is not, doesn't mean your week has been bad. Doesn't mean that you failed. Doesn't mean that, you haven't made progress because 95% of your week looks great. So actually, yeah, that's just maybe one little challenge you like had some ice cream and couldn't stop 2 nights or something like that. But that's you haven't done it even every night. So yeah, but it's just amazing what people think, isn't it? Like just so critical of of things. Yeah, just so critical of things. And we kind of tend to go for the negatives rather than positives because like realistically, she should have said, oh, well, this was really good. I did this really well. I hit this goal. I hit this goal. That was great. I just struggled a little bit here, but overall, it was pretty positive. But we always look for that negative, don't we? And then we beat ourselves up over that.
Yeah, it's like the negative is the go-to, isn't it? There could be 10 positives, but you'll pick out the one negative. And
Mm.
it's really funny that we're all wired that way, like because we like all think people are looking at us in a certain way, and if we do something wrong, that makes you look bad.
Yeah.
Like and most of the time, those other people don't even see that. Like, that I suppose, like for me at football, I feel like I've done like 100 passes wrong. but I might have only actually done two. And everyone else is like, you've had a great game. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, but I remember the two things that I did wrong. So it seems like a massive thing. And then actually someone else is there. And I said, oh, like, oh, you had such a good game. Like, you played really well. And they're like, no, I didn't. Like, I did this, 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 and this. And I'm like, oh, I never noticed because I was too busy noticing what I was kind of doing. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. We always focus on a lot of the time we always focus on the negative, that's for sure.
yeah. And like last night, so I went to hot yoga last night. Um, and when they say hot yoga, oof, it was warm. I felt like I was in Spain, when we had no aircon in the gym. Like, I had that kind of vibe going on. But we
Yeah.
weren't allowed like towels and stuff in with us. So the sweat just dropped, when you're like, oh my
Oh,
God, I need to wipe this out of my eyes. Like, this is like, don't wear makeup to hot yoga. Okay.
okay.
Anyway, she was saying, the woman that was running it, she was like, you're all like obviously like when we play football, you're athletes, blah blah blah. You've always got to be at a certain level. You're always trying to push, 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 push. You're not supposed to be pushing in here. Like be compassionate. Think about yourself. If you can't do something, that doesn't matter. Just do a slightly easier, whatever your body wants to do, let it do that.
Mm,
Don't always try and strive for what you think is the best. Like, and she said, like, by the end of it, she was like, this is really good because people are slowly actually just doing what they can do rather than being like, oh, that person over there's watching me, I must do the hardest version sort of thing. And she was saying about, yeah, being compassionate and nice to yourself, like, and things like that. And you're like, yeah, we really should just be nice to ourselves, shouldn't we?
I know it's so cliche because oh my gosh, like it's something you always hear, isn't it, when you're growing up? But it's like, well, if you wouldn't say it to someone you love, or you wouldn't say it to your love, like your friend, like why would you say it to yourself? And I know it's so cliche, but it's so true, isn't it? Like you wouldn't go to your best friend and be like, oh, you played really shit today, or like you look awful today, or whatever it is. You would never say that to someone because you know that would make them feel horrific. But yet, we can stand in the mirror and pick ourselves apart, or yeah, like you say, play a football game, do a couple of things maybe we weren't hugely happy with, and say, oh, we've had an awful game, or all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I just don't know where it like comes from because a lot of us do it, don't we? But
Mm.
yeah,
I don't know many people that do. And the people that, or don't, don't, yeah,
I know what
wait.
you mean.
You know what I mean? Anyway, like, but maybe those people have like taught themselves, like, because I'm definitely teaching myself. So, like, when I was watching a video of me having a shot at the weekend, I was like, oh, every time I replay it in my head, I'm like, oh, I felt it was just a little bit low. That would have gone in. We would have drawn, blah, blah, blah. But actually, um, my coach looked at it and he was like, yeah, but look at how you moved off the defender. Like you got away from them to get the shot. Like you did this, 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 and this. And I was like, yeah, I should really focus on those things. Yes, I didn't like do the end result wasn't what I wanted, but actually the things in the run up were like really positive. So start looking for those things instead of making myself feel really bad that I missed it. Be like, well, I did this. And then I got here and then I got there and then I actually managed to get the shot rather than not getting a shot at all.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's changing the narrative, isn't it?
it is. It is. And it takes practice. It takes a long time. I think it's like it takes years for us to be like negative towards ourselves. It's then trying to change that is also hard and takes a long time for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we just need to like when you say something negative to yourself, like be aware that you've said it and then be like, right, actually, how can I change my language towards that? So
Mm.
so instead of saying, ah, oh, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. That was going to go really well. Have you got anything that you can think of off the top of your head that you can change?
I think like for me, one time that I have found I've been positive is like during like when I was training, when I was doing running, when I was running, because you have to have a like if you have a negative mindset when you run, you're not going to finish the run or you're not going to compete. Like I feel like running is a massive mind game.
Hmm.
And I remember like talking to myself while running and those thoughts going, oh, I'm not going to be able to finish it, or, I'm going slower than what I would like to. But you almost don't have the time or energy to think like that. And all like quite quickly, it's like, no, I can do this, keep going. And you almost like talk yourself around and say, no, come on, you've got this, like keep running, you're doing so well. And it's like one of those times in life where I feel like it's actually quite easy to like, not all the time, of course, there's some days which aren't, but like a lot more, it's easy to switch, catch that thought and thought, no, I can't think like that because otherwise I'll stop running and I've still got this far to go. So you almost like end up cheering yourself on. Do you know?
Mm,
But it's because you kind of like are in that situation of like, I have to keep going. So if I beat myself up about this and I talk like I'm negatively talking to myself, I'll end up stopping and I'm probably gonna walk however far left. Whereas I'm like, no, I want to run home. I won't want to have to walk that far. So I'm gonna like be my own biggest fan and like cheer myself on.
mm. Yeah, I when I run sometimes and I'm like beating myself up. The more I think about my knee hurting, the more my knee's gonna hurt. And I'm like, don't do that because I'll start feeling pains when I didn't have any pain. And like, yeah, you constantly having that fight in your head. And I'm like, yeah, but if I walk, I'm gonna get home. It's gonna take me longer to get home. So don't do that.
Yeah.
Like you just have that, like you say, that little conversation in your head all the time, don't you? To like get yourself to the next bit. It's like, okay, well, I've done like this many miles and I've got less miles to go now. So I've just done the hard bit. So why wouldn't I just continue and do the last little bit? Like you find ways to talk to yourself, don't you? And actually, did you watch I'm a Celeb last night? I don't know if you watch it.
I don't even watch it. I've never I've seen a few episodes in my whole life. I don't really watch it.
Oh, well, there's a podcaster on there, GK, right? So she did the challenge last
Oh,
night.
I
Oh
know
my God, she was
she's
obviously going to
married.
get picked because she screams, yeah,
Yeah.
right. And she was really funny because she was so like panicky about stuff. And at one point, she was literally like, "No, no, I can't remember exactly what she said, but she was like, no, can't do it, can't do it, can't do it. Just grow up." And then she was like, "You can do it. For God's sake, just go." And then she did it. Like she got all but one star. Like because she'd start getting into this mindset of I can't, I'm not good enough, blah blah blah. And then she'd flip the switch and be like, "No, come on, like yes you can." Like it was like there was two people talking to her.
Yeah. 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 That's
And I
so
feel
true.
like that's kind of what we've got to do in our brains, isn't it? When you start saying like negative kind of things or negative sentences or like things towards you, like, "Oh, I'm fat, I'm frumpy, I feel horrible, like, oh, I've got bags under my eye." Like, do you know, just all of those things that just don't make you feel good. As soon as you start saying things like that, you need to like switch the narrative and be like, no, actually, yes, I probably look tired, but I've done this, this, and this. And I'm going to go and have a nap because I need one. Like it's just changing the way you're talking about yourself, isn't it? Like
Mm, yeah,
when you
definitely.
feel those things coming in, or like, oh, maybe I might be able to do it. Well, you're probably not going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember like reading something a while back about like body image and that stuff, but also not necessarily aiming for like positivity, but almost aiming for like neutrality. So like rather than saying like say you look in the mirror, you don't like what you see, rather than saying like, oh, I hate my body the way it is, I feel this way, I feel that way. It's almost like you don't feel positive about it, which is totally fine. Just be like, okay, my body is the way that it is. That's it. Like try and move to that like neutral place where you don't hate it or love
Mm,
it. Because sometimes changing from a negative to positive can be quite hard. Whereas if you just try and get to like more of a neutral place, that's obviously better than being negative, I suppose.
absolutely. And if you feel like also maybe trying not to focus on the whole, because a lot of people do it, that's why we talk about the way you look, flip it and be like, okay, I might look like this, but my legs allow me to do I don't know, a 4 mile dog walk every day, if that's what you do. Like uh my arms are allowed allow me to cook a really nice dinner, like to pick up saucepans and stuff. Like thinking about what your body actually lets you do instead of what it looks like sometimes can also help.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's one of gratitude that I always comes to my mind. Like I feel so grateful that I am able-bodied and able to move and walk and exercise and run and skip and just like generally move because yeah, it must be so hard to people that can't do that. And I think exercise for both of us, obviously it's our like career and our passion, is so important and we enjoy it and it makes us feel good. So actually to not have that would be awful for myself and
Mm.
I'd imagine probably for you as well.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
so like that's one thing is yeah to think about what you're grateful for as well because that can really help to give you a bit more positivity too. And like you say, focus on what your body can do rather than the way it looks and things like that. It's all tied in. But
Mm,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. It's a hard one. It's a hard one to break. But
mm,
like when you start acknowledging how you're talking to yourself and what you're doing, like it makes it a bit easier. I'm constantly saying to people, can you just reword what you've just said?
yeah,
Like my clients, they'll say something and I'm like, no, can you think about that and reword it? And then they come back to me and they're like, oh, okay, what about this then? And I'm like, that sounds better. This is good. Like, you know?
definitely, definitely. And like, I had a client today, and she had went out with her friend. She had a lasagna, and usually she was like, oh, in the past it was a Monday, and she said I went out for lunch. And I thought in the past I would have like had that lasagna and think, oh well, I've screwed it up for the week. I might as well just eat whatever I want because I've had one. Like, I've had one bad meal. Can't see me, but I'm what are they called?
Cheap meal, bad meal. Yeah.
No, I mean like the
What?
commas.
Oh, yeah, the commas, yeah, I don't know. You carry on. Anyway, she's putting her fingers up as if bad.
Yeah,
That's how we do it. It's not bad.
no, exactly. But she was like, I had my lasagna. I really enjoyed it. I went home. I had extra vegetables with dinner, and then I just ate like I normally would for the rest of the week, and I was on track. And I was like, that's so awesome because that's a really hard thing to do as well. And she was like, I even thought about it and thought, well, the lasagna's got meat in it, so there's some protein. You've got, the pasta in it for some carbs. So she was like, there is some good things in like some nutritious things in there as well. And I was like, yeah, exactly. But that takes time to like build that mindset. But it's cool when you get there and you can reflect and go, oh my gosh, like I did that. That was really good. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. I was just trying to see, like, one of where was it? In the 8 week challenge, one of the groups that's in it have got to say like 3 wins every day,
yeah,
which is so hard, right, for a lot of
yeah,
people. And when it came up, because there was four, like the other group had to pick number 1 to 4, right? And then they picked that for the other group. And actually, each group got like a nutrition one or mine's like a wins one rather than the 2 exercise ones. And I actually think probably doing burpees would be easier for a lot of these people than writing down 3 things that they're proud of themselves for.
yeah.
Which it's hard, isn't it? Because it shouldn't be. Like people just all the time, like in my check-in forms, they're like, oh, I don't have any wins this month. I'm like, you've had a whole 30 days and you can't think of one thing.
Mm,
Like, I'm sure there is one thing there, but people don't think of like um the little things as a win. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like when we went to Spain, wasn't it? And we're like, oh my God, we said hello to someone today. That's such a win. Like in Spanish, obviously. Like we were
yeah,
just happy about saying about 3 things. Like, but other people would look at that and be like, that's not, how is that a win? And I'm like, well, a win for me going in a shop on my own in a, like, that was an absolute win for me. I'd be like, okay, I did it. It's fine. No one murdered me. We're okay. That's a win. Like, it's
yeah.
just looking at those, being compassionate about those things that you wouldn't normally do. And yeah, a few of them wrote some really nice, like good things, like staying off my phone whilst I was out with my parents, because normally I'd be on my phone, and like recognizing, oh, okay, I only had 1 coffee rather than like 3 coffees, and that's like a really good thing for her. Like, like just yeah, the things that people come up with. I'm like, okay, we're actually thinking of little things. Like someone was like, got all the kids to school, like got
Mm,
7 kids to school or whatever it was, all ready by 7 o'clock or whatever it was. Like it's yeah. Whereas normally you might not look at these things as like a little win.
no, exactly. And I think it's also like the wins can be like being consistent. Like if you're mostly doing the things that you need to do each week, not perfectly, but you're doing most of them, like that's a win in itself. Like, yeah, I did my
Mm,
steps. I had my protein with each meal mostly, had my veggies, like because there's not always going to be like a win that's like, oh my gosh, I climbed up a I don't know, 500-meter mountain today, like, or whatever it
Yeah.
is. Or,
That's-
like, because you get to a point as well in your journey. I suppose we're talking from like health fitness point of view, but like, especially I suppose for me and you who are like, this is our life, this is where we live, we're quite consistent at it mostly. Like, we're not going to have necessarily wins of like, we get a 3 portions of protein today or stuff. Like, we're like, that's a win that we're consistently living this way and we're choosing to live this life. Like, that is a win in itself. I don't know if that made any sense, but yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for me as well, like actually leaving food when I'm hungry, that's an absolute win. Like, oh, I didn't do the other day, but like on the odd occasion, I'm like, I'm gonna leave that last slice of pizza and it will kill me because I'm like, but I'm not hungry, don't do it. Just leave it. Like, and then I'll later on I'll be like, oh, that was such a win for me to leave that. Like,
Yeah.
like you say, having a glass of water, like an extra like one more glass of water than you normally have, or if you don't drink any water, having a glass of water. That's such a win. Like, yeah, there are so many things though, aren't there? Like that people probably don't think that we have stuff that not necessarily struggle with, but sometimes like people come to me and they're like, well, you don't eat sugar, you don't do this, you don't do that. And I'm like, I do, I do, I do, I do. And I do struggle with all these things. Like if I don't go out and do exercise, oh my God, I'm so grumpy. Like, so I know it makes me feel good, so I go and do it. Or my leg starts hurting, so I'm like, I need to do some exercise. So you like, I'm like, right, like, or if like something hurts so much, I'm like, right, okay, I need my body needs a massage. Like I need to go and put myself in for a massage. Like
Mm,
it's all those little things. When you get to where we're at, you notice things more and you know what you need to do to help it. But it doesn't mean we don't do those things, other
yeah.
things, like when I got all that chocolate for my birthday, I literally spent 2 weeks and some of my dinners were just me eating chocolate bars because they were just here. And I was like, nah, I need to get myself out of this cycle because I'm starting to get spots and yeah, I'm tired. But we still all do it. But I wasn't like I didn't beat myself up about it. I was just like, oh, it's fine. I know like I've got my meals planned for whenever it is next, like I'll be okay.
Yeah.
But it's not then just going, you know what? Well, I've already had like 5 days where I've just eaten chocolate. Like, oh, that's great. I'm gonna do it for a whole month, 2 months, 3 months.
Mm. I think that's the thing is like we've just built discipline. Like, I was talking about the other day something, but for us, I think those conversations in your head, like for example, I will go on the treadmill. I know you'll go on the bike sometimes when you do PT sessions. Like, we have an
Mm-hmm.
option there. It's like, well, you either sit in a chair or stand up, whatever you're doing, or you could sit on the bike or go on the treadmill. Like, there's no, doesn't matter either way. Like, you could do either. You have a choice there. And in my head, I think, oh, I could just sit in my cozy warm chair, put my little heated thing on, just get up and show the exercises, sit back down, and it's comfy. But in my head, I'm like, but I do that all day. So what is an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, however many PTs I have in that day? Why would I not go onto the treadmill and do that? Because I can sit at my desk and I can sit down whenever I want to. So actually just get up and do that movement. But like, I have those battles in my head, but I think the more you practice it, like the more you win that battle. And I'm like, no, just go on the treadmill, put your coat on, you'll warm up once you start walking. Like, there's no excuse to not do that. My iPad's fully charged, my headphones are fully charged, the set treadmill is all like set up. I want to keep my legs moving. I know walking is good for me. So it's like, I think we're just better at having those fights. I don't always win. There's the odd time where I go,
Yeah.
no, I'm gonna just sit down, like I'm not feeling it today. I'm just need to do that, which is fine. But I think we've kind of gone off track here. But like, we've just we've just learned to be more disciplined. I think, like, we're not always motivated. This is going completely off track, but you know what I mean.
Mm.
just
Oh,
we've just
absolutely.
time.
But then you know how much you feel better. So you're more like if I sit at my desk from like even when I sit at my desk from like 2 till like say 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever, that's a long time sat down. So if you are like you have the option to go and do those things, it's good to go and get them done, like when you can, because actually, oh, like because I do that as well. I'm like I could just sit here in online PT and sit on my chair, but then I'll just be glued to my laptop for then the next 6 hours. So actually, if I go and sit on the bike now, like at least I've got that movement in and it's going to make me feel better because it's me being compassionate about myself because I know that I now need to sit on my laptop for like another 6 hours and I'm not going to feel good by doing that. My legs are going to be like, what the hell are you doing? So if I go and actually my brain wins the battle of you're going to go sit on the bike, when I do sit down for that 6 hours, it doesn't hurt as much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So technically you are being self-compassionate because you're listening to your body rather than just letting your brain take over and being like, no, you just need to sit there and do nothing.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
us. Obviously that's not for everyone.
No, no, and a lot of jobs you probably couldn't do that either. Like we'll have like PT sessions where we train people online. So we can do that. Like, yeah. But
Mm.
I do appreciate most people can't. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah. Just trying to think if there's like any others. Like what let's just do a few tips then. We don't need to make every podcast super long, so well, they're not super long anyway, but 3 tips that you'd give someone who was new to practicing self-compassion.
Um, 3 tips I would give to someone.
It's going to be difficult. It's
Yes.
going to be hard, but you like the more you try and the more you do it, make it easier for yourself. Like if you're saying something horrible to yourself, maybe write it down so you can see it. Because I feel like sometimes if I can see what I've said to myself, I'm like, oh, that's not very nice. And you
Mm,
like it's like you realize it more. So maybe when you say something like that, if you can, write it down and then come back to it later and have a little look. But it will be hard. It's always difficult when you first start
yeah. Yeah.
to be
Definitely.
mindful of your vocabulary. Vocabulary. Did I say that right? Vocab. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
On a word when I said it.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. Um, Gosh, thinking on the spot. Don't beat yourself up if you don't do it all the time. Be compassionate
Yes,
with yourself when you're not compassionate with yourself.
absolutely. That is so good. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Feeling that one. And like if you do feel like something goes wrong, say, well, there's me using the finger thing, wrong.
Mm,
That sounds weird. Um, practice like asking yourself, like, what do I need right now? Like, do you need to like continue to be horrible to yourself, or do you need to find comfort in something and be compassionate about yourself? So, like, if you feel like you've gone off track, just be like, okay, what is it? Why do I feel like I've gone that way? And what do I need from this right now?
mm. Yeah, it's so true. And actually brings me to think about something like um I've been working on with my therapist is like, say for example, I'm going through I had a difficult session, for example, and I may be feeling very emotional or however I'm feeling, rather than going, right, I'm just going to get straight back into work. I'm going to do all of this. I'm going to try and get all this done. Like, it's like having that compassion, thinking, like you said, like thinking about what I actually need. It's like, well, actually, I probably just need a couple of hours to like decompress, maybe just sit and watch my favorite funny TV show or go for a little walk or like do something like that. And having that compassion and knowing that that's probably the best thing for me rather than like, right, just getting straight back into something. Because I think often a lot of us do it, we distract ourselves from our emotions and our feelings. And whether it's with food or whether it's with um, drugs, alcohol, going to the extremes, but gambling, um, anything really, we can distract ourselves with being busy, put something
Yeah,
on the go, etc. Yeah.
yeah,
And actually, sometimes we need to just allow ourselves to like sit there and be in it, and have that like, yeah, just that self-care. Um, yeah, that's just I kind of went off, but yeah.
no, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, actually, like I know we're getting to the end of this. So I spoke to my client the other day, and I said to her, we need to like she was so on it for so long, and then it's like something's happened somewhere along the line, and it's now like she's like, well. I'll only do this if someone else does it. I'll only eat this way when my other half is like doing this, and I'll only do this. And I'm like, everything is with someone else. And I was
Mm,
like, but what about you? What happens if that person doesn't turn up? What are you gonna do?
mm,
Because every time they then don't turn up, you then don't benefit. Like you're not doing whatever you want it for you. So like if they do, like decide they're not going to do something, say, oh, that walk you had planned, they couldn't come or they didn't feel like it or whatever, well, you're now not going to go and do that walk because actually that was going to make you feel good and whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like it's always like relying on someone else. I'm like, well, you need to be your own like navigator, your own driver as well. So have a backup plan for if they decide they're not going to do it, what can you do instead, like to make yourself feel good? And like at the end of the session, we kind of just went, I was like, right, maybe you need to look and self-reflect somewhere because it's not always been like this and like things that she's doing. So she was like, okay, I need to go away and actually dig a bit deeper, don't I? And actually listen to myself. She was like, how do I do that? I was like, why? Why? Keep saying why until you hit your point. Like, and at
mm,
some point, you will get the answer to your question. I said, I can't help you with that. You're going to have to find it. Like, because there's going to be a reason why you don't prioritize making your own food anymore, or you're always having what you call lazy meals, or you're not going to the gym, or do you know all those things that she was doing? There's a reason why she's not doing it now, and it's finding that reason. Whether that's lack of self-worthy, like negative, like core beliefs. There's something there somewhere that's like screaming at her, but I said to her, like, you're going to have to dive in deeper to that. And she was like, okay, that's not going to be fun, is it? And I said, potentially not. But again, a self compassion thing. I think somewhere along the line, she's to be a bit nicer to herself because
yeah.
everything's always bad. Or like, oh, I didn't do that. So yeah, oh well, doesn't matter about me. But you
Mm,
do matter. You're a human. Everyone matters.
of course. But yeah, like you say, it all comes down to inner core beliefs. And some of those things are just so deeply rooted, like, and that's why there are therapists and stuff there. Like, and sometimes it's having that compassion to say, yeah, actually, maybe I need to go and get some therapy or talk to someone. Because actually figuring those things out on your own sometimes can be really hard. And you might end up triggering yourself or getting yourself into a bit of a situation where like, I can't work out what's going on. Like I've had times before where I'm like, I don't know what's going on right now. Like I can't figure out why I feel this way until you do talk it through with someone. So like, yeah, it's almost like
And someone else can always can someone and someone else and sometimes someone else can always see something else you can't see, right? So they might bring up something from way in your past that you had no idea was even linked to whatever you're feeling now, and then you go, oh,
mm,
haha, yeah, that did happen to me, or that is a thing. Like, but I would never have like even contemplated that being a thing or
yeah,
being the reason why I feel like this.
it's crazy. Like sometimes you'll get triggered by something, and that could be like from something 20 years ago that has happened because that's made an inner core belief. And then now you're feeling a certain way because someone made you feel a way as a child or something like that. And then it's mental. So like you're almost brought back to the past and you're made to feel unsafe and you're made to feel uneasy and all these emotions like from coming back from when you were younger now make you feel that way in the future in the present, sorry, where you actually are safe and you actually are okay, but your mind is like taking you back to that place. Fascinating.
Mm, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely madness. But yeah, maybe you need to dive in a bit deeper to find the self-compassion or why you can't be compassionate.
Passionate. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that's it. Find out why you can't be compassionate towards yourself.
Mm.
Yeah. Mm.
Because, and again, it might not be just your child, it could link to something your parents or your family believe as well, right?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Exactly.
think of like our generation, sorry, like my dad's a lot older and stuff. And as kids, he's like, "Why are you crying? Step off a lip, step up upper lip, like stop, like you don't need to cry, you don't need to this." So I struggle to like when I cry, and people are like, "Oh my God," like I'm like, "Yeah, I don't normally cry because like I've always been taught like, come on, like sort yourself out, sort of thing."
Yeah.
So like when I do, I'm like, oh God, I can't possibly cry in front of anyone because like that's not good. But
Mm.
actually, in my brain, I'm like, it's fine to cry. And if people cry in front of me, I'm like, it's fine, let it out. Like, just cry, cry, cry. But actually, if I do it in front of someone, I'm like, nope, I'm about to go and hide. See ya.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you cry, to be fair.
No, I don't think I've cried around you, to be fair. Well, that's a good job you didn't talk to me last week because I cried every day for like 5 days. So, we're good. Glad we
Oh,
didn't have a podcast then because you would have seen me cry. It's fine. No, but it's one of those things, isn't it? It could be something like you have been like your family's ingrained in you, and that's not necessarily their fault because generations change and things happen. Like,
yeah,
but
it's
if
what
you
they've
can
been
then figure it out,
yeah, from their parents, isn't it? It just goes down generation, generation. Like my mum would always say to me, "Oh, don't worry about it. It'll be fine." Like, so then your feelings are not validated because someone is always saying to you, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." Well, you're not saying, I can completely understand why you're feeling that way. That sounds like it's really tough for you. Like, I'm here for you. I'll give you that space to feel that way. How can I support you? Like that's kind of what you needed to hear rather than like, oh, just don't worry about it. Because then you
mm,
start to like process those emotions on your own, and you end up like becoming quite avoidant of other like saying your emotions. This is going completely off the kind of off on a tangent, but it's yeah. And but like my mum was not doing that in a malicious way. That was just the way she was told. Like, don't worry about it. Like, I'll take that away from you. It'll be fine. Don't worry. Like, you're all going to be good. No malicious intent there. It's just the way that she was learned to deal with things. So that's the way she then taught me. Um, so yeah, it's just fascinating, isn't it? How it goes down in generations. And I suppose we're almost that generation now that are figuring these things out and can like hopefully be better towards not better but different towards the next generation. So they're not taught that feelings are bad. um but yeah,
absolutely.
a whole other podcast.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, we can do one on that. But yeah, I mean, it's all about feelings, isn't it? So, absolutely, like, yeah, it is. Yeah, this could be from them. Madness. Madness is
Mm.
what you hang on to too. But yeah, so was that 3 tips or was that 2 tips? I can't even remember now. But yeah, maybe we've done them all.
I gave one, you gave one. So yeah, I think
Two
that's
tips for me.
yeah. But yeah, I suppose we'll leave it there before we end up talking about God knows what. I'll have a good tangent. But yeah, thanks so much for joining us today, everyone. And please, if you have any questions, send them in to us. You can Instagram us or send them to our email address, contact empoweryoufitness@gmail.com.
I was wondering if you're going to get that one wrong.
But yeah, and we will speak to you in the next one.
Absolutely. And if you've got any ideas or you want us to cover any topics as well, just ping them over to us. We'll always take some feedback or extra, yeah, topics. Oh my God, you now have a cat sat on your shoulder. So funny. He literally picked up just, hello. That was cool.
Right, see you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.